Hello learners, welcome to today's topic, that is television, a medium of education. I am Dr. Pula Lakshmi, Assistant Professor of Distance Education, STRIDE, IGNOU. The main objective of this topic is that this video will describe the historical development of educational television. Introduction. The introduction will give you the outline of the existence of television and what is that, how it is imparting education and how the television became a tool for the education. Learning through information and communication technology, that is ICT, is evolving rapidly and is becoming a global phenomena these days. The ICT is the learners to overcome many of the constraints of conventional methods of learning. It also enhances teachers' capability and effectiveness by highlighting the learning points visually. ICTs provide flexibility to different learning needs and learning styles. Those are oral, visual, pictorial, etc. of the learner. The learner who uses ICTs learns more quickly, retain knowledge for a longer time and feel better about the content learned. While watching the TV, and they are not only the TV and all ICT tools they are using, and then their interest is becoming more and more. Educational television can provide an opportunity whereas the learner can hear and see the events happening or taking place. Television as a tool or medium of learning, it became really a tool. Television has the potential to be a valuable tool in enhancing the quality of teaching and learning at all the levels of education, whether it is a higher education or it is a primary or secondary education or college education, whatever it is, all the levels. Now we will see the television as a medium of education. Television has become part of a day-to-day life of people all over the world. It has been entertaining, informing and educating them through a variety of programs. It provides unique opportunity to learners to learn as per their convenience. According to Lesser in 1975, the television's greatest power is its capacity to transport, to show the world to children, to display people, events, ideas that they have never encountered before and are unlikely ever to have the opportunity to confront. The historical perspective of a television. Television has a history of about 7 decades when it was started on an experimental basis. It developed countries as a medium of entertainment. As per the literature available, the television industry was born in the year immediately preceding World War II. Television was exhibited at the 1939 World Fair as a showcase for the first US presidential speech on television. Then it became an intensely and increasing television's priority in everyday life and every household life. The growth of television centers all over the world, which are those centers we will see now. Between 1945 and 1948, the number of television centers in America grew from 9 to 48 television sets. The Federal Communication Commission, that is FCC of United States of America in 1952 established television stations and broadcast programs for educational institutions. The use of television grew slowly in the beginning, but its use, however, grew rapidly in 1960s, and by 1972 more than 200 television centers were established in United States of America alone. By 1960, about 85% of US households had a television set. In late 1940s, some American universities started experiments for establishing studios, producing and broadcasting television programs for their students. Recognizing its potential and wide reach, some educational institutions had started using it as tool for imparting education to learners in early 1950s. Television was used for educational purposes by different institutions and countries in different ways. For example, the following two models of utilization of television programs for educational purposes were used at the initial stage. The first one is extension of classroom. Initially, teachers started using television as an extension of classroom teaching by making the content available to a large number of learners outside the classroom. In this model, the presentation of experts are recorded in the lecture format and made available to educational institutions and learners. In other words, the functions of a live teacher are performed by the television teacher or presenter or expert who could be available to a large number of students in both the classroom and off campus situations. As a result, a large number of video lectures presented by eminent experts are available for use by teachers, schools and learners. The second one is the using of potential of television. That is, exploitation of potential of television is that after the establishment of the British Open University in UK, United Kingdom and subsequently other open learning institutions in different parts of the world, the specific functions and potential of television were used to achieve learning objectives effectively and efficiently. British Open University took into account the specific strengths and weaknesses of television as a visual medium and used it extensively for learning situations where visual support was needed to comprehend the content or accomplish specific learning objectives. Television programs were designed by a team of experts based on the principles of effective teaching and learning. In this model, media experts gave importance to institutional design for developing educational television programs. The need for media selection and integration has catched the attention of teachers. Both the models are being used these days by educational institutions in most of the countries, including India also. For example, a series of lectures of eminent scholars or experts or various topics related to higher education have been produced by the Consortium of Educational Communication, the University Grants Commission, CEC/UGC in New Delhi has providing and installed. These programs are being telecast nationwide, also known as a countrywide classroom, for the teachers and students at the tertiary level education. Besides Indira Gandhi National Open University, for example, it has produced a large number of television programs based on the specific potential of the visual medium for its learners. It is the basic and the primary tool for the education. It is used in IGNOU. Such programs are specifically designed taking the strength and weaknesses of educational television into consideration. The visual medium is selected based on the various factors, criteria, with more emphasis on the learning objectives to be achieved by the learners. History of education television in India. The history of television in India goes back to September 15, 1959, when the first experimental television service was started in Delhi with the noble cause of social and educational development of the people. Unlike most of the developed countries, India started the television service for empowering school teachers in their teaching and children in their learning. This is main motive of the educational television introduced in India. With this objective in view, a series of especially designed and produced television programs were telecast by Doordarshan Kendra government run television center, Delhi, for secondary school children in and around Delhi in October 1961 under the aegis of Delhi School Television Project. In 1961, Delhi School Television Project was introduced, and with this the Doordarshan Kendras were telecasted. Through Doordarshan Kendras, this was telecasted. These programs were syllabus based and telecast during the school hours as part of the school activities. After a gap of about 13 years, the first major expansion of the television service in India began when the second television station was commissioned in Mumbai in 1972. This was followed by commissioning 5 more television stations, one each at Srinagar, Amritsar, Calcutta, Madras and Lucknow by 1975. Till 23 long years, the television transmission was in black and white. During Asian Games in 1982, which India hosted, the color transmission of television programs was introduced. Thereafter, the television industry in India did not look back at all. Some of the important satellite television stations are here. Now we will see these television stations. Those are satellite TV stations. Now we have discussed the history of educational television in India. It is a part of this, and what are those sites? We will see that. Site, S-I-T-E, site. The site is a satellite instructional television experiment. It is established in 1975 to 76, was a landmark in the history of the educational television service in India. It was designed to test whether satellite-based television services could play a role in socio-economic and educational development of rural masses. This is the main motive of the SITE. And the next one is post-site project. What is this post-site project? This is the post-site project in 1977. After the site was over, the broadcast of television programs continued through terrestrial transmitters installed at Jaipur, Rajasthan, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, Muzaffarpur, Bihar, Cuttack, Orissa, Gulbarga, Karnataka, and Kedia, Gujarat. Community television sets were installed in primary schools or community centers in the villages within the effective range of the respective transmitters. The third one is INSAT project in 1982. What is this INSAT project? Indian National Satellite System has been a major catalyst in the rapid expansion of terrestrial television coverage in India. Mehta has analyzed in 2005 that the launch of a series of indigenous communication satellites boosted broadcast of television programs in India. Started with programs were used for socio-economic and educational development of rural audience. The telecast broadcasts covered various areas of development such as education, agricultural, social education, health and hygiene, etc. The main objective of the INSAT supported television service was to bring people residing in the rural and backward areas into the national mainstream by quickening the developmental activities in these areas with mass media support IGNOU in 1995. The fourth one is Gnandarshan channels. It is very important in IGNOU Gnandarshan channels. What are those Gnandarshan channels? We will see here. Various indigenous satellite-based television services were started in 1990s in the country with INSAT in the geostationary orbit of the space. It could be possible to network all the Doordarshan Kendras located in different parts of the country and broadcast programs. Besides the use of television programs for commercial, educational television services at all the levels from primary school education to higher education, including professional courses and lifelong learning. With the liberalization policy of India, the television scenario has changed dramatically in the recent past. IGNOU, in collaboration with Ministry of Human Resource Development MHRD, Indian Space Research Organization ISRO and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting MI&B Education Channel. It is important in educational television programs produced by various institutions in the country such as IGNOU, University Grants Commission, that is UGC, National Council for Educational Research and Training NCERT, Indian Institute of Technology, IITs and so on. These channels provide round-the-clock service to learners at primary, secondary and higher education levels. The following 3 GD channels are functional. Under this, 1, 2, 3 channels are functioning. The GD1 is this channel is devoted to educational and developmental needs of learners. A variety of educational and developmental programs for a variety of learners are broadcast through this channel. The GD2 channel is an interactive channel for education and training. GD2 as the training and development communicational channel, that is TDCC, provides one-way video and two-way audio interactivity between the teaching and learning activities. This system is also known as teleconferencing, which can be received across the country with the help of direct reception television set telephone. The teleconferencing is which can be received across the country with the help of direct reception television set, and the learner can interact with experts or resource persons through telephone. Live teleconferencing is an innovative intervention to learning at a distance. This is very much useful for the distance education system like IGNOU. It provides the much needed human touch to the otherwise remote and distance learners who can directly interact with experts or teachers located at any teaching ends in the country, seek guidance, can express their views and clear their doubts regarding the topic being discussed. In the existing arrangement of teleconferencing, the learners can see the teachers, but the teachers cannot see the learners. It, however, does not mean that two-way video conferencing cannot be organized. If needed, technological infrastructure at both the ends, teaching and learning, is available. The teachers and learners can see the interact with each other in a two-way system. The GDT importance, now we will see that this is GD3. This channel, launched in January 26, 2003, is known as Ekalavya, which is aimed at imparting quality education to students pursuing engineering education. This is more useful and benefit for the engineering students with the Ekalavya channel. The GD3 telecast curriculum-based programs for undergraduate studies in engineering and technology. Any educational institution in the country can have access to this channel with some basic infrastructure. It is estimated that the channel is being watched by nearly million learners studying in about 1,500 above engineering and technology institutions across the country. These are the useful of the satellite television stations. The potential and limitations of television. Every activity has some limitations, like that the potentiality of television limitations are here. Potential of education television is that education television has incredible potential to facilitate both teaching and learning at the various levels of education. It designed creatively and utilized successfully. Educational television programs can make learning well organized, productive and imaginative. Some of the advantages of educational television as follows here. It supports education both in the face-to-face classroom and distance learning environments. It facilitates synchronous and asynchronous interaction between the teacher and learners when used in teleconference situation. It motivates learners to overcome many psychological problems hampering their learning. Educational television, with its usual impact, creates interest in learners to enjoy learning as per their convenience. It effectively used as a motivational tool. Television provides high quality education to all the learners irrespective of their location, caste and creed. The educational television broadcast helps overcome problems of inequality and imbalance among regions by providing equal opportunities. It provides more cost-effective education when it is used on a large scale and repeated over a period of time. For every activity, some strengths and weaknesses are there. Here, we will see that some specific strengths are there. What are those? Television demonstrates experiments, experimental situations or principles involving dynamic change or movement. It demonstrates abstract concepts through the use of especially constructed physical models. It facilitates animated, slow motion or speed up tapes or video disc, and it brings primarily or unique resource materials, case studies, etc. directly to the learner. It records special events, experiments, places, people, monuments, etc. It condenses or synthesizes a range of information into a coherent whole. It demonstrates how instruments or tools are played or arranged and used. Now we will see the limitations of educational television. In spite of all these advantages, television has some limitations too, which however can be overcome to a great extent by adopting certain measures. The main limitations of educational television are as follows. It can provide instant feedback. It is difficult to capture the learner's reactions or views about the program. It can provide instant feedback. It is difficult to capture the learner's reactions, views about the programs. Video production is a costly and time-consuming affair. It requires sophisticated production facilities and equipments. Television programs are aimed at the average learner, Hence, they may not be very effective for learners with special needs, below and above average learners. Television broadcast is a passive technology, hence its pedagogical effectiveness can be limited. To make it interactive, we need sophisticated technology at both the teaching and learning ends. Unless produced professionally based on an effective instructional design and by a team of experts, the television programs cannot be effective in facilitating learning. As a result, educational programs produced by various institutions are not pedagogically sound or effective. Once it produced, it is difficult to revise and update the educational television programs. Television programs restrict the learners to view the visual shown by the producers. Hence, the learners get limited perspective of the concepts being taught or learned. Now, we will see the utilization of educational television. There are some important aspects of the utilization of education television. Which are those? Now we will see here: accessibility and availability, attitude of teachers and learners, support of administrators, viewing facilities, maintenance, and poor integration with main learning materials, and training of teachers and producers, and enabling policies. What are those? These, the first one is accessibility and availability. A large number of learners do not have easy access to different types of information and communication technologies, including television, video cassettes, and videotape recorders. And the second one is attitude of teachers and learners. The attitude of teachers and learners towards television as a medium of instruction plays an important role in its utilization. It has been observed that those teachers who have positive attitude towards educational television are innovative in their approach to teaching and learning. The third one is support of administrators. The support and encouragement of the head of the institution or the coordinator of the learning center in case of distance education system is essential for effective use of television programs. It has been observed that due to one or the other managerial problem, teachers or counselors are not provide easy access to ICTs, including television. The fourth one is viewing facilities. What are those viewing facilities? Now we will see that the supportive environment, either in a classroom or workplace, home or learning centers, is most advantageous and learning through television. The learning environment should motivate learners and build self-confidence in them for optimum learning. Poor learning environment results in reduced learning. This is more so in situations where the learner uses television without external support or guidance. The fifth one is maintenance. The maintenance is very important and one has to take care about that. To keep all the electronic gadgets functional is an essential condition for optimum utilization of television programs. And the sixth one is poor integration with main learning materials. That is, it has been observed that in most of the cases, the television programs are being used in the supplementary mode to provide additional support to the learners. Training of teachers and producers. The training of teachers and producers, that is the teachers, teleteachers or presenters or anchors and producers of television programs should be thoroughly trained in the philosophy and practices of distance education system. Designing and producing ICT enabled learning media producers are trained in producing generally the television programs and not educational programs. The last one is enabling policies. The enabling policies, in order to exploit the potential of educational television as a tool for enhancing learning, it must be integrated into pedagogical processes, which of course require a deliberate attempt by teachers, educators, curriculum developers, policy makers and learners. For this, the relevant policies, norms and guidelines should be in place to assist teachers and academics to use television in teaching and learning process. And now you can see here the video and television broadcast, a comparison which I have highlighted also. If you want for more details, you can go through this one for this, the video and television broadcast. Some of them I will highlight what video does and what television broadcast does. The video is available as and when needed, but the television fixed viewing and broadcast time. And the next one is repetition. Search and mastery learning is possible. In television, repetition, search and mastery learning not possible. And the video can be viewed in nature, and television and broadcasting cannot be viewed in without any particular time. And the video individualized pace of learning, that is pause, forward, rewind possible. The television is a fixed pace for all students. The video is integration with other media easy. The television broadcast is integration with other media difficult. Thank you very much for bearing.